Welcome to the HPSA Locker Room. We're here with Isaiah Thomas, also known as IT. He's a former teammate of mine, a great friend of mine, and he actually is Drake's number one fan. So that's why we have the Drake fan club sign in the back. But yeah, appreciate you coming on and excited to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Let's do
We never talked about you proposing. I mean, you kind of were like, yeah, like I'm gonna propose, but like
it.
I didn't realize you were like about to get straight into it. Because what month did you propose?
February. Yeah.
That boy said, yeah, Valentine's Day, she needs to have a ring on her.
Yeah. Yeah. I proposed in
So
February.
you
Go ahead.
so you went into the off season and you were like, when did you get the ring?
I got the ring, I want to say the end of January. So it was in the process, like mid-January or so like that. Found a jeweler. Me and my financial advisor found one. And I told him how I knew she wanted it to look. And it was in the process like mid-January. Then it got there about the end of January or like the first week of February, I want to say. Then had to sneak it to Oklahoma with me when I proposed to her.
Were you like super game plan? Like, did you know exactly what you were gonna do, or was it kind of like as like you got closer, you're like, dang, let me fine tune this.
That's funny you asked that, bro. I actually had a plan because I had this is when I was on TikTok. I actually haven't been on TikTok in months, but I was on TikTok and I was on your page and I remember that video you had of like a 5 or however many step process on what to do to propose as far as like don't wing it, have something scripted, have it nice, have a plan after, and I had all that, bro.
Bro,
I had all that stuff like laid out.
it's crazy because I've been interviewing other people,
Yeah,
and like you're not the first person to reference that,
really.
which is crazy
Yeah.
because I don't even think about it. Like, you put stuff on TikTok, I'm like, whatever, like boys are trying to get views, and then but like it's actually helpful.
No, it is, yeah, because like I like was it me initially. If I never seen your TikTok, I would have probably just took her out to dinner and do what you see on TV. Have the waitress bring out some champagne, have it,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I was like, I took what you said, man. And my sister, she's like a big event planner, and I was texting her when she was back in Oklahoma, like she was setting everything up, ordered everything for me, and she really set it up really nice, bro. And that's how we got it going.
Isn't it kind of a crazy feeling though? Like, I feel like, I mean, I don't want to compare it to football, but you really, before you're about to propose, one, well, let me rewind. Like months before you're about to propose, when you have the ring, that's a weird feeling too because you like she doesn't know that she's about to be your wife, but you know she's about to be your wife.
Yeah.
So then every time you look at her, that's a weird feeling. But then as you get closer to it, bro, the nerves, you get super nervous.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And I say I'm glad you mentioned the nerves because like I had everything down pat. The only thing I messed up on was my like was me like my speech to her because I was so nervous. Like I couldn't like remember.
Bro,
Bro, I was so nervous and stuff, and I feel like I prepared too much in a sense, if that makes sense, as far as like going over what I was gonna say. Then when it got time, I had the first line down. Then after that, I winged it. I was like, oh my gosh, but it was great though, man. She loved it.
I know I'm kind of a proponent of like have a memorize something
Mm.
because bro, you really do black out.
You do. No, you really do. And I'm not big. Like I'm usually good in front of people. Like I really never get to
Yeah, you're like the funny guy. Like you're good in front of people.
right. And that was the one time in recent memory where I was just like, bro, like I'm stumped right now. Like I'm tongue tied. But it all worked out, and it was the best night that we had.
And then what did you do? Like you obviously had a super nice photographer, all that. Did you have something after? Did you have her family in? Was it like a full event,
Yeah.
or what was the vibe kind of after?
Yeah, so okay, so how it started was I proposed to her the day before my uncle's birthday. And I told her it was like a big dinner for his birthday, everybody's gonna be there and stuff and whatnot. So I had her family there, my family there and whatnot, friends and all that stuff, then proposed to her. Then after that, we rented out like this top like deck of this hotel and we had drinks and food and stuff like that. Then we all went downtown and had a good time. Then the next day we all had brunch together. So it was like a little weekend thing that I made it out of.
It's so crazy though, because that's such a crucial piece. Like for her, it just becomes more special.
Definitely.
And those moments, like you see when you have your wedding, like bro, those like weekends that you have with family and it's all about you guys,
Mm.
it's super special. I don't know what her relationship is with her dad or your relationship with her dad, but was it like I'm gonna get his approval or his blessing? Did you go through that whole process?
So her dad has just actually been released from prison here. Well, is about to be released from prison. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So I went through her mom just out of respect, and because she can reach out to him whenever and whatnot. And she said it was fine with him, and she said it was also fine with her. And I did that, several weeks before, and it was just a good feeling, to be in the position to be able to go through somebody to get their blessing, to have them love me enough, and I have their respect to be able to, marry their daughter, and it was a great feeling, like at the time, I was like you said, it's a weird feeling seeing her every day, knowing she's about to be right, but she doesn't know, so it's just that's probably like what led to
Crazy.
stuff, man.
It is crazy. Like I was talking to one of my homies about it yesterday. It's such a crazy feeling. Like I'm saying, like looking at them, literally everything. You go to the grocery store and
Yeah,
you'll see her interacting with the clerk, and you're like, dang, that's my wife. She doesn't know that,
right.
but I know that. It's a weird feeling.
Literally, like we're just like even like the when it really hit me was when we were driving to the venue for me to propose. Like she thinks we're about to have dinner. Like she's like texting her friends and stuff. Like oh my gosh, I'm
You're like, no, well, your life's about to change.
yeah, like I'm like, and her friends obviously know and stuff like that, and they're just obviously they were great. They didn't say anything, and it was just crazy to me, like looking at her, like she thinks she's about to have dinner, but meanwhile, she's about to propose to.
It's crazy. And you guys have built a lot together. Obviously, when millions of people watch this, they may not know the whole backstory.
Mm.
I don't know if millions of people watch it, but you guys have built a ton together.
Yeah,
Like y'all have a whole family. Like,
yeah,
we're in the locker room. I'm looking at you like this man's a grown man. Like I feel grown, but he's a grown man.
yeah, bro.
And I'm sure when you guys get married and you're writing your vows and you're doing all that, like that'll be a piece of everything you talk about because of everything you guys have built. As you were thinking about proposing, how much of that made it like more emotional? Just thinking about the fact that you guys have built a whole life.
Yeah, bro, it made it that much more emotional and made it that much more special. Like as you know, we have a daughter together, and bro, that's my whole world, man. Girl, dad, gang. And so when
Yes, sir.
and so when I was getting the ring and stuff like that, and just occasionally like you said, when you look at well at the time your girlfriend, soon to be fiance, and she has no idea, and then I look at our daughter, and I'm just like, bro, like this is crazy. Like we really built this whole family together. Then you're just thinking of everything that you want to do for her and like what you want to provide for her. And I'm big on giving her stuff that I didn't have as a kid, and it's just a great feeling. And like you said, when it's time to write those vows, man, it's gonna be everything summed up onto a piece of paper about like what you guys have built, what you guys want to do and like what you guys want to continue to build. And it's just a great feeling to have, and just to, be in the position that I'm in, it just makes it that much more special.
Do you think, I don't know how deep y'all have gone in wedding planning. Do you think he'll write vows or y'all will do traditional vows?
We'll write vows.
Bro, it's writing vows is intense.
Bro, I know. So her brother, he got married and he wrote his own vows. They were beautiful, like lovely. But seeing him write them,
Yours will be good, bro. You're
yeah,
poetic. You're young Drake. You'll be good.
yeah, bro, I'm a poet. They don't know that, but they're gonna find out soon.
He said, yeah. No, it'll be good, bro. But it's a cool process. I literally like I just put on deep music. I'm already light skinned, so I'm already gonna be good at vows. But I put on deep music and just started like they going through our whole relationship, everything, and started writing. But it's writing vows. Like I would recommend everybody write their own vows. It's
How,
special.
how long did it like from when you guys got married? How long did it take you to write your vows prior to that?
So we got engaged in July. We got married in April,
Mhm.
and I wrote my vows in probably March,
Oh, okay,
like a month before, and I just kind of like I got it to like 90% done, and then like right before the wedding, I finished them.
okay, cool. Okay.
But I don't know. It's writing vows is a cool process. It's just special, and like I don't know if you guys have deep dove in like first looks and all. Like, are you gonna do all that stuff? Like the vows, bro. It is so emotional, and I'm not a super. I wouldn't consider myself a super emotional dude, but that was probably like one of the most emotional times I've had.
Really?
Like it was a lot.
Dang.
Yeah.
So I remember that your wedding video that you had sent me, and I watched it with her. And that first look, I never even thought of a first look until your wedding video. and she loves the idea of it. So we're definitely going to dive into that. And as far as the vows, man, I know I'm gonna be emotional, man.
But yeah, it's valuable because if you don't do a first look, you're just gonna miss most of the stuff that you're paying for. Like you're just paying for other people to just have a cocktail hour. You're not even be able to go to it. So you're gonna want to do a first look for that reason too. A couple more things I was curious about. One, have you guys deep dove in wedding planning? Like, how deep are you in that? You're already asking for addresses, so you got to be kind of deep.
Yeah, she's getting her dress this weekend. We got the guest count, we got the venue. My sister, she's our wedding planner.
That's so.
Uh, I'm trying to think. I think that's as far as we got, as far as I'm concerned. We have the catering done. Got the catering done. Now, we got a lot of it out the way.
How has it been for y'all from like a relationship standpoint? Because wedding planning for me and Allie, boy, might as well have been or marriage counseling. I mean,
Bro,
it's challenging.
initially, prior to the wedding planning itself, it was, it was Armageddon for a little bit. Like, it was I'm like, dang, like we gotta find some agreement. Then with my sister, we hired her as our wedding planner because she has her business and whatnot, and she was like the mediator and stuff. And she has a mentor that she's under, and it helped out a lot, man. So now it's like more of a smoother process, and especially since we got more of the bigger stuff out the way. Now we just need the drinks and the DJ and stuff taken care of. Oh, we have a wedding photographer as well. So we're just looking for the videographer along with that. And but yeah, we're pretty deep into it.
Yeah, it's an interesting process. Wedding planners are so important for you and your future wife. That's the biggest thing. Forget the actual planning. You could plan it, but
Right.
everything else is what it's good for. And just like I'm always curious what how guys feel. How's it been going from like calling your girl or your girlfriend to now this is my fiance, and then how are you anticipating feeling when you're like, man, this is my wife? Oh, do you call her your wife now?
I don't yet, only because I wanted to so when I actually call her my wife, when she's my wife, I wanted to feel, that much more, real in the moment and stuff. Obviously, like you can just joke around, yeah, it's wifey over there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But as far as now, like when I'm introducing her, I say my fiance and stuff, and then they'll look at the ring, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I know.
yeah.
So that's the best part of it. When they say fiance, they instantly look at they look at the ring and stuff. It feels good, passing that girlfriend boyfriend stage. It feels more mature. It feels more like adulthood and stuff. So that's the best feeling of it. I feel like I'm growing into the next chapter of my life.
As much as y'all have done together, I'm sure it got to a point where like you pull up, you got a whole family, and you're like, yeah, it's my girlfriend. People are like, boy, like,
Exactly. Yeah. So that's that's funny you say that because when we went back to Norman for an OU game before, and it was like some fans and stuff who had been following me and they knew of her and whatnot. And they just kept saying, "Your girlfriend still? You need to put a ring on that." I'm like, hey, I know. Like, relax. Like, calm
yeah,
down.
like, can you calm down?
Like, can you relax? You're with your kids. Can you focus?
Yeah,
But
like, you got a job to do.
but so yeah, it's a good feeling. So when she's my wife, I'm really looking forward to actually calling her my wife.
Yeah, it's a special feeling. All right, we're gonna do lastly, and then we'll be done. I have just some agree or disagree questions that I'm gonna ask you. You can go. I agree, disagree, keep it simple, or you can give a slight explanation. I'd encourage you to give a slight explanation if it makes sense. Agree or disagree in the HPSA locker room. All right, love at first sight.
Agree, and I say that because of Kelby. Honestly, like physically, like she DM'd me, but after that, when we first seen each other in person, the very first time we hung out, took her out on a date and try to take her to the biggest restaurant so everyone could know that I got a girl. Like literally, like she'll tell you, she was so surprised I took her out in public our first time hanging out. So yeah,
Man, you want to be Drake so bad. This man said flew her out to Turks. Like I did what I had to do. You want to be Drake so bad. All right. Agree or disagree? Men should cry when their wife walks down the aisle.
um, agree. If I say agree, because I feel like if you don't hold back tears, I should say, if you feel like you're about to cry, let it out. Show your emotions. Like be raw, be vulnerable, be real. Yeah, you should cry if you can, if you got it in you.
I don't think I go back and forth. I don't think it's a big deal. Not everybody cries a ton, but it's a special moment now. Like that, you're not. You're overcome with emotions. You'll feel it. I'm telling you, it's a crazy feeling. All right. First look, I'll ask you anyways. Agree to disagree to a first look?
Most definitely, 100%.
I think it's a no brainer. Okay. Agree or disagree overspending on a ring? AKA spending more than you kind of like were allotting, going in there and being okay with just being like, you know what, YOLO, double down.
I disagree because everybody's situation is different. Not saying I lowballed on her ring, but everybody's situation is different, and you're gonna want to have money for the wedding. And I know people down the line. I'm pretty sure. I think you told me or such. Like people, like revamp their wife's ring if need be. So I disagree.
Yeah, and listen, you need to leave room because your wife's gonna want a revamp.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to happen.
Most definitely.
So leave some in the tank. Okay, getting into a little bit more intense questions. If you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to. Agree or disagree joint bank accounts?
If both sides agree on it, yes. I'm not against it, so to speak, but I think that's more of a personal matter. But I'm not against it, so I'm
Yeah.
in the agree.
In a weird way, I think there's a happy medium where you can still feel independent, but
Yeah.
have joint finances. Okay, agree or disagree sharing locations.
Yes, yes. We've been sharing our location for a little over a year now, and I say that because you never know what could happen. Like
Literally.
not even to the point where it's like a toxic, reason on why you want to do it, but like you never know. Like she could be out with some friends, and I don't hear from her for an hour, 2 hours or so. So yeah, you'd rather be safe than sorry. Most definitely, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at the point that when you're married, like you're not checking locations to see if she's at the club and didn't tell you. It's literally like, are you alive? Like I need to know if you're okay.
100%.
Okay. Agree or disagree on sharing social media passwords?
Disagree. And I say that because I feel like every person's entitled to some type of privacy. Like,
Right.
I mean, taking it a little more dramatic, but I mean, like, you came into this world on your own, man. Like, everybody goes through what they go through on their own. Like, everybody's entitled to have some type of privacy in life, to themselves on your platform.
You know what's crazy? I'm kind of like I'm like in the world of I don't think it should be like this OD conversation like here's a Excel sheet of my passwords. But I'm
Mm,
like they should have access, but I do think what you're saying is true. Like at some point you have to operate under the world of trust where it's
yeah,
like I need to have a little there's got to be some type of barriers. If you want to like look over my shoulder, I'm scrolling, we're in bed, like there should never be an issue like never should be an issue to look, but this doesn't need to be like you're just logged in my account. It's just weird.
yeah, I agree.
Okay, I agree with that. Okay, couple more. Agree or disagree going to bed angry?
No. And strongly disagree, actually strongly disagree. And she kind of, when we first started dating, she kind of had this thing where she was like, she doesn't want to bring problems into the next day, essentially what you just said, going to bed angry. And I mean, we're not perfect. There's been times before we have, and it just, it starts the day on the wrong foot, and it doesn't do anything but hurt. Obviously, it's great to talk out and stuff and work out that day, but you never want to go to bed angry.
Yeah, it's funny because we asked somebody else this, and I'm kind of weird about it, bro. I just feel like sometimes like we're gonna wake up in the morning and be married. Like you're my wife no matter what. Like you know what? Can we just go to bed?
Yeah.
Like I'm not about to sit up and all. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like it goes both ways.
Okay.
I think the danger is kind of what you're saying, where it's like if you're gonna go to bed and then take it into the next day, like figure it out. Otherwise, we're having a petty argument. I'm getting on
Yeah.
your nerves. Like, can we go to bed? Like, I'm tired.
Right, for sure. Yeah, that's a good view on it.
So I don't know. Okay, last one. Agree or disagree on the idea of somebody being a soulmate or having soulmates?
As in, is it possible to have a soulmate?
So let me rephrase it. Do you agree or disagree with the idea of soulmates?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I
So
do.
you think you can have you have one soulmate?
I think it's possible. I don't think it's just flat out impossible, not real. I do think in cases there is that one person that was made for you, and obviously there'll be ups and downs, but I do think there's for most people or some people who are already in that situation, there is that one person for you that doesn't fit you as well as anybody. I mean, that wouldn't fit anybody else, wouldn't fit just as well as that person does for you.
Right. Yeah. My views on this have changed, and Santino's listening, so he knows about other conversations we've had. I think that I think you absolutely have a soulmate because there's just so many things that happen in life and in like just circumstances to lead you to somebody like that aren't by accident. It's just
Yeah,
weird. I don't know. I think you have a soulmate. Now, does it take somebody a long time to get to that point where they find their soulmate? Maybe.
yeah,
Maybe that's 3 marriages and then they find their soulmate. But
yeah.
I think people have soulmates. All right. Appreciate you, IT.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the HPSA Locker Room, and I'm glad you were part of it. Just, just the gang, the men, the fellas, just chatting up about women. What I always say is there's a lot of podcasts that exist where men talk about sports, random things. Not
Yeah,
a lot of platforms where men are coming together and just chatting about like their wives and
yeah.
girlfriends and being married and all these things. So appreciate you getting on. Like and subscribe to the channel, follow the socials, etc. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for having me.